Hello everyone. Today our topic is one-to-one and into functions. First, one-to-one functions. A function f is said to be one-to-one if and only if f of a equals f of b implies that a equals b for all a and b in the domain of f. A one-to-one function is said to be injective. In this figure, we have an example of a one-to-one function. Note that given any y, there is only one x that can be paired with the given y. Consider the following example: x maps to 2, y to 1, z to 3, and b to 4. This is one-to-one function. But in the following case, x to 1, y to 2, z also to 2, b to 4 is not a one-to-one function. A graph of a function can also be used to determine whether a function is one-to-one using the horizontal line test. In the first graph, the horizontal line intersects with the graph in 2 points, so the function is not one-to-one. However, in the second graph, the horizontal line test intersects with the graph in only 1 point, so this function is one-to-one function. Example 1. Determine whether the function f of x equals x plus 1 from the set of real numbers to itself is one-to-one. The function f of x equals x plus 1 is a one-to-one function. To demonstrate this, note that x plus 1 equals y plus 1 when x equals to y. You can also use the horizontal line test to check if this function is one-to-one. Any horizontal line intersects with the graph in only 1 point, so this function is one-to-one function. Example 2. Determine whether the following function is one-to-one. F equals the set of pairs 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 6, and 10 minus 1. This function is not a one-to-one function. The ordered pair 5, 6, and 8, 6 have different first coordinates 5 and 8 and the same second coordinate. So this function is not a one-to-one function. Next, into function. A function f from a to b is called into if and only if for every element b in b there is an element a in a with f of a equals b. An into function is also called surjective function. An into function is such that for every element in the codomain there exists an element in domain which maps to it. This implies that all elements in b should be used. For example, if x maps to 1, y to 2, both z and b to 3, this function is an into function. Note that the function is not a one-to-one function. If, however, x maps to 1, y to 2, z to 4, and b to 3, this is not an into function since some elements in b are not used. In this figure, we have examples of different types of correspondences. In the first figure, one-to-one, but not into. The element 2 in the codomain is not used. In the second example, the function is into, but not one-to-one. Into because all the elements of B are used, but not one-to-one, since both the elements A and D in the domain maps to the same element 2 in the codomain. In the third example, we have one-to-one and into function. All the elements in B are used, and each element in the domain maps to a single element in the codomain. In example 4, the function is neither one-to-one nor onto. Both A and C maps to the same element in the codomain, so not a one-to-one, and the element 4 in the codomain is not used, so not onto. In A, this is not a function, since the element A maps to 2 elements in B. Next, one-to-one correspondence function. The function f is a one-to-one correspondence if it is both one-to-one and into. We also say that such a function is bijective. For example, suppose f be the function from ABCD to 1, 2, 3, 4, with f of a equals 4, f of b equals 2, f of c equals 1, and f of d equals 3. Is f a bijection function? We have to examine if this function is both 1 to 1 and into. It's 1 to 1 because no two values in the domain are assigned the same function value. It's also into because all four elements of the codomain are images of elements in the domain, or the codomain elements are used. Since the function is both 1 to 1 and into, it's a bijection function. For today, that's all. Thank you.